What the hell's up, wrestling fans? It's me, Steven, aka the Duke of Disputation, aka that Smart Mark guy, aka that WWE robot that only watches WWE. Yo, okay. So, anyways, welcome to the Duke's Dive, episode 7. Anyways, let's kick the week off with my deathmatch moment of the week. My deathmatch moment of the week is an extension of last week's challenge for you to go and check out a couple YouTube channels. I did that because we kind of butted with episodes this week and kind of dropped 6 and 7 back to back, so I just want to kind of extend that challenge over to this week. So the challenge is to go to these 5 YouTube channels, check them out, and comment that Smart Mark Alley sent you. The 5 of them are Schlack, Casanova Valentine, the Murder Death Kill Club YouTube channel, the Boulevard Bullies, and H2O. I'll include those in the description or whatever, the comments, and then they'll be on last week's stuff too. Like I said, go check those guys out. That's the deathmatch moment of the week. Go check those guys out. Boom. Let's go ahead and kick this off. Excuse me. This week's NXT, this week's Duke's Dive. We started off with a ROH match. Like good old KJ had said, this version of NXT is basically like the best version of Ring of Honor. So we got Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic, Donovan Dijak, and wow, these guys both moves like cruiserweights. Nice stiff, snug, strong style. I like this match a lot. These guys were crazy in their this was a great way to kick off the week. Keith Lee hit a beautiful second rope moonsault. There was a freaking crazy Canadian destroyer off the top from Donovan to Keith. There's really not much I can say to this one. You got to go back and watch this one. Keith Lee, of course, won with an amazing roll-through power slam finisher. I don't know what they were calling that. I'm not exactly that. I know who Keith Lee is, but I'm not first with, the NXT version of him and what the finisher is actually called. But it was like Donovan had went for like his second moonsault, and through the pin, Keith Lee just like deadlift picks him up, power slam. This now puts Keith Lee and Donovan 1-1. So, nice to see a rubber match on that one. The next matchup we have here is Ty Nara versus Dakota Kai. I don't have a lot on this one. There's a lot of stiff kicks and punches, and really nice looking kicks from Dakota Kai. Of course, Dakota wins with a crazy variation of the go to sleep, where instead of hitting the knee, she kicks out straight. I think there was maybe like somebody else who did that too, that variation, but I'm not sure. But I really like this, that straight out kick, which of course she calls the go-to kick. And like I said, that was a great women's match, our second match of the evening. Now we move on to the third match and the last match of the first half of NXT. This was a rematch from last week that ended in a complete brawl, and this week was announced that it will be Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane in a #1 contendership street fight. The first half of this was really ring and mat based, focusing and favoring Matt Riddle a lot, but showed that Killian could keep up with him, being like this UFC type of guy. Simple big moves being used here, like the electric chair and the Alabama Slam, just being made to look like brutal, you know, triple Canadian destroyers. The way they look to me, you know, it was beautiful in simplicity, the way it was. Of course, Dane goes first for the weapon, with a chair, takes it outside, takes it out to the ring. There's a lot of stuff out there. The bleacher spot, oh man, there's a lot of nice moves and spots out there. Then they bring it back in. Well, then, excuse me, even Dane crossbodies Riddle through the stage area. Then they bring it back in. But something I wanted to note here, 2 times here that they focused on a hardcore style match in the first half of NXT. You know what I mean? These 2 times here were the first half on the USA Network and the second half was on the WWE Network because of the follow-up of Suits or whatever. But I think, like I said, I think they want to get that All Elite fan base. They want those fans back. They want those fans that are going over to AEW and watching stuff like Dustin and Cody and just Shawn Spears and Cody, and you know, these people that really like me, that want the hardcore stuff back. They want the blood, they want weapons. I think this is bringing in those fans, like, hey, look at us, we got that kind of stuff too. And that's just my opinion. I think that's a way to get those fans back, to show them, hey, it's not all, you know, goofy main roster stuff over here. We are the Black and Gold brand, and this is what we're doing. Of course, Riddle wins with a Fujiwara armbar submission that looked like it just broke his arm. Of course, next week now will be Riddle versus Cole for the NXT Championship. Now, this will all be on the USA Network, with limited commercial interruption, of course. They had to say that, but like I said, this will be completely all on the NXT. I mean, yeah, this will all be on the USA Network, as opposed to being half on the network, half on the TV. This will all be on TV, the USA Network. Of course, Cole comes out, taunts Riddle, and then Riddle then puts him in the Fujiwara armbar, and Cole taps. So I think he's in big trouble next week. That's my opinion. So, that covered that match. I thought that was a really good street fight match. To start off the second half, we had Rhea Ripley versus Kayden Carter. 2 people I'm not familiar with, but I guess they were both UK women. It's kind of like a UK NXT merging and battle, if you will. Like, I didn't know that NXT UK followed directly right after this NXT either, but I'd like to start watching that as well. I don't think I'd cover that, I'd just start watching it. But Carter was noted to be a collegiate, like, basketball player, so that was good. That was a little bit of information I didn't know. Of course, I didn't know much about any of them. Ripley has a nice little stalling suplex in there. You know, shout out to, you know, Davey Boy Smith and that kind of good people. Great back and forth display of talent from both of these women. Ripley wins with a pump handle powerbomb called the Riptide. That's her finisher. And that move, these women both impressed me. I thought this was a really good match. And you're looking at 2 future main event women right here. Next up, we have our tag team section of the night, which was Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan versus Everrise, which was Chase Parker and Matt Martell. Super solid tag team stuff. I thought that this was going to be like a squash match, basically. I didn't know these Everrise guys, but they kind of used the heel tactics to get an upper hand, but of course Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan fought back, then pick up the win with their like tandem finisher. This was a really just solid tag team match. Not much to say about this one. A little short. Wish it could have went a little bit longer. I could see these guys on the main roster too, against the guys like, you know, Heavy Machinery and stuff like that. Or they probably did. I'm talking about Ever-Rise, that is, and of course Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are incredible. And I hope I see those guys soon on the main roster too. And I think to see them against guys like the Revival would be awesome on the main roster. Next we have, and I wrote this down because I'm a huge mark, if you can't tell. They showed Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green in the audience, so I thought that was pretty cool. The next match we have is Cameron Grimes versus Raul Mendoza. Raul was like a lucha-based kind of guy. Immediately blocks Grimes' double stomp attempt that he was successful with last week. Much better than last week. You know, you got a lot of offense from Raul, who and it still makes him look super strong, but at least that wasn't completely snuffed from the beginning. I noted that I wanted to see Raul versus Cien Almas. Of course, Grimes does win with that leaping stomp out of nowhere, but not until Raul gets a lot of offense in and shows that he's made of some tough stuff in this one. Now we're going to move on to the main event of the evening, which was Kushida and two partners of his choosing versus Imperium, and the two partners of his choosing just so happened to be the returning Breezango. Of course, if you've been privy to the internet, you've known that Breezango has made their NXT return, you know, some month ago or whatnot, but they had come out with a new theme. I didn't know that they had a new theme, so that was pretty cool. Of course, this goes heavy right from the beginning. It shows that Breezango is not a joke here in NXT. They're not coming to do, you know, comedy stuff, even though they might be funny. And Imperium might think that they don't belong there because they're about honor and the tradition of the ring and whatnot. But, like I said, that Breezango was no joke, and they were not a team to be messed with here. Really showed off Imperium and the new version of Breezango, and then, Kushida got involved, and Kushida is amazing. Of course, if you've watched him on New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I believe is the pinnacle of professional wrestling, you know, me, the guy that only watches WWE, but, I think New Japan is the pinnacle. He's amazing. He wins with like an O'Connor roll with a bridge. Of course, this makes Kushida undefeated in NXT, who was then attacked on the ramp by Walter. He was laid out. Imperium stand tall at the end of the ramp, even though they lost to Kushida and Breezango, they still stand tall, which seems to be a thing for those guys. It's pretty much become Imperium's ramp at this point, because they end pretty much every NXT now standing tall at the top of that ramp. And that ends that, and hopefully now we'll get to see Kushida versus Walter, or maybe at an NXT TakeOver. Maybe they'll build that up a little bit, because I really feel that that should be one hell of a match. So let's go ahead and get that going as soon as we can here. Get that on a big stage, like a NXT TakeOver. I think that's what it deserves. So that ends my little wrap up on NXT. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends my coverage on NXT. That ends the episode of Duke's Dive. I just wanted to go ahead and say, follow us on here, subscribe, give us a like. I see we got a dislike last week. Thank you for bringing the traffic to our channel, Nick. So I just wanted to say, you know, subscribe to us on subscribe to us, like us on Facebook, you know, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all those at Smart Mark Alley. Go ahead and follow the Duke's Dive on your preferred audio podcast, because we'll be getting that up now as well. We'll have the video version, we'll have audio version every week. So if you prefer video, boom, you got video. If you prefer audio, you got audio. Go ahead and follow Rope to Rope Entertainment on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. They're all on there. Go ahead and follow Northern Tier Wrestling. Check us out. We got a lot of shows coming up. We do a lot of fun stuff. With Smart Mark Alley and Rope to Rope Entertainment. You know, we're featured on Ginnico all the time. We got a lot of content on there for fans like yourself who want to watch wrestling and want to watch good professional wrestling. There's a lot of promotions on there. Capital Wrestling, Northern Tier Wrestling, ECPWA, Eclipse Wrestling, Phoenix Pro stuff up on there. There's a lot of stuff on there. Lots and lots and lots of content on there on Rope to Rope's Ginnico channel. I said check us out. Go ahead and follow Smart Mark Alley. Go ahead and follow Rope to Rope Entertainment. And I thank you for watching. I will join you next week, and go ahead and have a good week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like or a dislike, subscribe, follow, whatever. And like I said, I'll see you next week.